Okay, thank you all for watching this video. This is going to be the review of the Marvel Spider-Man for PS4, the exclusive title for the PS4. I'm playing it currently on the PS4 Pro, so everything you're seeing here is on the PS4 Pro. Really stunning off the bat. Everyone watching could be sharing their thoughts in the chat there. It was awesome night tonight playing the game. You know, aside from the fact of Miss Kylie on Twitch rocking like a gigantic raid on the channel and having most people like hear the channel, like, that was wild. But aside from that, if you watch the playthrough of the video, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Twitch, the playthrough of the video will be also up if you're seeing this video. And this is the first of multiple reviews that there will be for this game. So if you're watching on any of those places, definitely check out the playthrough if you haven't seen it yet. And if you have already seen it, thank you for watching. I hope you dropped a like or a comment. Even if you're on Twitch, you can drop a comment there in the little chat box. So please do feel free to do it. So first thoughts of the game. Visually stunning. I was a little bit worried coming into it with all of the news from Review Tech USA and a lot of other channels that I watch. It was mentioned that there was a downgrade to the video quality, possibly. You know, I had heard all that stuff before the game came out. I try not to watch much gameplay of games before I play them. I kind of like to go in fresh, or as fresh as I possibly can. And I'll watch a little bit to kind of get an idea of, do I really want to play this game or not? And then, but I try and go into it as fresh as I can. So, if, you don't go into it knowledgeable. Because I also like to test to see if a game teaches you how to play the game. Because there's a lot of games that do come out and a lot of different, types of games that come out that you kind of want to end up Googling a lot of stuff and trying to figure things out, outside of the game. So as it goes for this game, very similar to like an Assassin's Creed type of way of teaching you how to play it. Just really similar to Assassin's Creed in many ways, but very different in so many ways. The aspects of who Spider-Man is as a person and all his abilities and all the tech stuff and everything else coming into it is where it differs greatly. But so when it goes down to that, it taught me how to play the game. At first it was a little bit like, whoa, like there's a lot of stuff I'm learning. Like I can do grabs, I can do this, there's all these different abilities, and you think it's going to be overwhelming, but you kind of just fall into your niche of how you like to play and how playing works best for you. And it felt really smooth. Like, it wasn't very long before I felt I was, fighting capably and doing a lot of more skillful stuff and taking on larger groups of enemies and just enjoying the fighting more and more. The whole dodging, mechanic in the game is really fun in these fights. And it really, I can't stress this enough, feels so smooth in how it's kind of laid into the mechanic of fighting, and nothing feels like a crutch. Like, from learning how to do the stuff into actually performing the stuff, there doesn't feel like there's any breaks being hit. And sometimes in games, certain mechanics will feel like you get this little moment of you swing a punch and then you're spamming a button because it doesn't feel fast enough to then do your dodge ability. So you get this kind of skill check in a way of delays between the abilities. But this, it doesn't feel like there's any delay in certain things. Like when you fly in, when you grab someone with your web and you pull yourself over to them to then punch them, there is a little split second of a delay, but you can still dodge. Even when you jumping through the air or swinging through the air or flying through the air, the second you see that Spidey sense go off, you hit the button and it does the dodge. It does what it's supposed to do. And due to all that, it makes it so much more fun because it's not fettering you. It's not stopping you from doing what you need to do. So it's a very smooth style of fighting. Really fun, really rewarding, in that. And it's kind of the more enemies I can kind of send at you, the better. And the only way it kind of slows you down is sometimes of just, you know, when there's the bonus parts and ways to do things, like, so getting stealth, like, you know, webbings on people, or webbing people against a wall or whatnot, or throwing objects. And that's the only thing that slows you down. But it's still fun doing it. It's like, it's a fun skill check. It's a fun way to, you know, pull these things off. It's every mechanic in the game kind of just feels like a fun way to do something. This game is unbelievable. It really is. It's really fun. I didn't expect to be having as much fun as I'm having in playing this game. Like, I was just like, maybe it'll be like Assassin's Creed. Like, I like Assassin's Creeds, but the repetition of a lot of things feel like, you know. But in this, like, when you're swinging through the city and these mini missions pop up, like, yeah, it's kind of like, you save a dude from the trunk, and it kind of feels like the same type of dude in the trunk and everything. And, like, when they're robbing stores, you do see kind of like the same skins and same people that are robbing stores, and it's like, But, you know, it still feels epic the way it's done, because when you finish that fight, and when you achieve that fight, it's like, you're like, yeah, and it doesn't feel extra long. And since the fighting's so smooth, you don't feel it to be a chore to quickly go do that little mini fight. Like, the fight's only can take you like a minute or two. Like, it doesn't take you, like, you're not taking a break for 5-10 minutes to do this, like, little, like, oh, let me fight these guys, find these store people and robbing the store, you know, and stuff. It doesn't take, like, forever to achieve it. So since it doesn't take forever to achieve it, it's like, all right, yeah, let me do that quick. Ooh, I'm awesome with Spider-Man. Now you're back to swinging through the city and everything, you know. That's really cool. So it's that stuff layered into it. It just feels good. It just feels right in a way. It's a nice little way of kind of breaking up the monotony of just doing movie quest, you know. And then on top of that, you're doing missions on trying to find your backpacks. There's a ton of backpacks. I can't believe how many backpacks Peter Parker loses in my lovely city, in the city. I can't believe how many backpacks this dude loses. So you got the backpack quests there, and you got quests to go take pictures of landmarks. Now, on the aspect of the landmarks, as I'm a New Yorker, I'm born and bred in New York. I've spent, I'd have to say, 98% of my life in New York. I've not really seen the world, sadly. I'd love to someday, but born and bred in New York, and this is my city. Like, this is the best job I've seen in a video game of recreating what Manhattan is, what the city is. I mean, you got Madison Square Garden over there. You got, you know, you've got my city. Like, the only thing that I will say, the only gripe I have is that there's too many trees. There's too many trees. If you watch the playthrough, you probably at the beginning saw me rattling on about it. The city does not have that many trees. I don't know what Manhattan you saw, but I did realize, though, that the trees you can swing off of, like in Central Park, which blew my mind. When you're talking landmarks, like, they recreated Central Park. They recreated Times Square. They recreated so much of the city, and it is stunning. It is beautiful. It is unbelievable. You know, even when you're looking out to, you know, you got Brooklyn, you got Queens, you got the Bronx. I don't know if, you know, you can kind of, Staten Island is out there. Staten Island is out there. It is so well done. It is so stunning, you know, looking at the city. You just enjoy every second of swinging around in this city and enjoying the city. It is unbelievable. When it comes down to the story quest, the story so far is really interesting. I am enthralled. I want to see where it goes. I mean, there's a lot of characters in it. If you didn't know already, storyline and everything. Like, myself, I grew up watching, like, you know, like, cartoons and, like, TV shows. I never really was a Spider-Man comic book reader. Ironically, like, my dad read more Spider-Man than I have in my life. And he used to collect comic books and stuff, and he has some, like, old Spider-Man, like, comic books, you know, so he was, like, really into that. So, but, like me, I was more into the X-Men. So there's a lot of characters and everything in the game. There's a lot of like Easter eggs, like in the game, that if you don't know about these things, you might miss it. But even if you don't know about them, there is a good enough storyline happening so far of the characters, and I haven't even gotten into the crux of the craziness yet. Like, I mean, I've seen like the trailer and stuff, so I know like there's some craziness that's gonna go down with like the prison and stuff, or some like spoilers or whatnot. That goes down or some, but that's all I kind of know. It's like I saw like a little scene like that. Someone streaming the Spoderman. Yes, I am. Feel like there are enough crimes. Really, Majora? I mean, I guess they could have differed more. Instead of like the same person being saved from the trunk, the same type of store being robbed, maybe a little bit of a differentiation there. I could agree. There could be, maybe a little bit more variance to that. But I think that, the fun of like opening up everything is feeling like it's happening at a good pace. I mean, just tonight, I mean, you can see, I mean, in one night, there's just, and like I accidentally opened up half of Central Park just because I was like, traveling around and everything. It felt very smooth to open up all these things. And just looking at the map, you can see how many blocks there are, how many streets. I mean, this map is quite large. And just in enjoying myself especially, traveling around and opening up things. We did open up quite a bit and experienced quite a bit. So I feel like it's done, in my opinion, pretty smooth, pretty well to open up everything, to experience everything, just kind of enjoying yourself and traveling around is really just, I think, done pretty well. While we're in this menu, we could talk about, so there are suits, there are different powers, there are kind of like mods you can have on. So I have the increased XP from defeating enemies. I usually, if there's something for increased XP, I usually pick that up because, it'll help you progress and everything. I usually like XP things. Gadget attack, generate focus. So you have a focus meter. You have all these different abilities. Like the fighting's so smooth with different ways of attacking. The different abilities you have, different dodging and just, special powers, suit powers. Like this one, leap into the air and web everything in sight. There's different ones. I can have, get an extra focus, and then you use your focus to also heal yourself. Like, it's all smooth. It's all fast. When you need it, you click it, and it does it. It's really... So, I really think that's where this game is really amazing. Then you unlock different suits, and with the suits, it unlocks more of the suit power. So this one, Decharge, Amplified EMP, build up to stun enemies and disable their weapons, and then you could change whatever skin you need. So it's not like in Tomb Raider, you build a skin, and then that skin gives you the ability to go with that skin in the Shadow of Tomb Raider. And there's like, oh man, but I think that other skin's like really cool looking. Like a lot of MMOs also fail with that, where it's like, like back in the day with WoW, before you could transmog your gear, and even in like SWTOR, before they added in like, the changing of abilities and gears, like you'd be stuck with maybe a piece of gear you didn't like, like this one I'm not a big fan of. I don't know. So far I'm really digging this one. This one did look kind of cool. That one's not that bad. It kind of reminds me of the movie Tron though. Looks like something they would be wearing in Tron. But it's kind of cool. I like the colors, And this one's like kind of cool. It's like, a back in the day style thing, But all these things, like, you get to wear whichever skin you want to wear, and then it's just an unlock of a suitability. Once you have the skin, you can unlock the suitability, and then you just choose the suit power for it, So when it goes down for gear and everything, so far really fun. The only downside is, you're going to have to do certain things. So there's research tokens, base tokens, backpack tokens. What was the other ones? Then you get the crime tokens. See, crime tokens, landmark tokens. And then there's one more. It was like something to do with like something else. Doesn't matter. But you see, getting all these different tokens and doing different things. Like the research tokens, you gotta solve little puzzles in Doc Ock's lab, and Then there's like you gotta fix certain tech stuff in Doc Ock's lab. So there's all these like side things you're gonna do, and yeah, they're all kind of like when it comes down to the ones that are outside in the world of like saving the person that's being kidnapped and stopping the robbery of the store. Like those things are like the kind of same thing so far over and over again, which yeah, Majora said there aren't enough crimes there. There could be more in that aspect. But when it comes down to like the solving of the puzzles and everything, so far I've absolutely loved that. Like when you travel around the city and you go to these little like the radar towers that are popping up on the map here, you go to the top of a building, it's got this little like tower thing, and then you have to solve this like sound puzzle, this waveform puzzle, and I definitely recommend do it with your eyes closed. Do it just by sound. So much more fun. That was honestly one of the most fun things I had in the game here. I know it's cheesy. I know it's something simple. It's something small. But I don't know why. Like, as a person, I've recorded music over my life. I've worked in the sound engineering field in some ways and stuff, So I enjoy that a lot. And I don't know. That was really a lot of fun for me, even to the point where I think that a video game needs to be made of that style. Just saying. And then even the other puzzles in the Doc's lab, the solving of there's some tech stuff, and then like I wish I could show you it here, but watch a playthrough, you'll see it in the lab. And you're solving these like really fun puzzles, these really fun like brain teasing puzzles, and it's done really well. Like everything in the game is, I feel, like, I hate to just be like, there's nothing I dislike so far. The only thing I could say, if I'm looking for, like, some type of a downside, is there's some glitches. Like, but we've had some glitches with people popping up inside of cars, and people popping up on the side of ledges, and then there was, like, one time where, like, an enemy kind of teleported through a car and then punched me. So there's some glitches. I mean, nothing is perfect. But so far, really, like, I'm liking everything. So now there's also things like gadgets. So I've been using the Impact Web gadget, and this mechanic is also really fun. It gives you a chance when you're in a fight to kind of pop up this menu, choose your gadget, and then, like, you can hit someone with it. So the Impact Web will hit someone if they're near a wall, it'll hit them right into a wall and lock them into a wall. Now that person's out of the fight. It works out really well. And then when you're done with your Impact Web, it automatically switches to your normal web shooter, and then you hit someone with enough of those, and then they're incapacitated for a moment, or if they're next to a wall, or if you've knocked them on the ground, it'll lock them onto a wall, and they're out of the fight, nice and easy peasy. And then there's, other ones to unlock. We've got this one we can unlock, but yet again, you need the base tokens, you need the research tokens, so that means you need to be going around the map, you need to be doing, finding your backpack, and, taking the pictures of all the sites. So it makes you travel around. It makes it so that while you're doing these little quick, like, I can't stress enough, it's so fast to do these, like, little find a backpack. Like, it's not done in a way that I feel takes too long or is too hard to find. Like, it's not like a little mundane backpack that you're going through tunnels, or like, it's not done in a way that's just like feeling like a labor. It's done in a way that's like, all right, I'm swinging through here. Oh, there's backpack here. Boom, I'll find it. And I'm going to find it in probably like 20, 30 seconds. I find it easy peasy, no problem, And then there's like bigger fights that happen. Let's see, there's usually you've probably seen, if you're watching this review right now, either live on Twitch, in past broadcasts, or, on YouTube, you've probably seen, like, the little fights that happen in, like, a construction yard or something. There's, like, a bunch of guys. So those are, like, little kind of, like, horde mode spots and everything. When you finish those, there's another token you get from that. So it's like you're going around in these little, like, horde fights, and then, all the random crimes that start popping up as you're traveling around and everything. It's nice. And also, I should stress again, like, I know I'm going all over the place, but it's not like in Grand Theft Auto where you get, like, phone calls or texts and, like, you have to do that thing. Or if you don't do that, there's, like, massive repercussions so far. Like, it's kind of like, if you feel like doing it, you do it. If not, keep on swinging. do your thing, and I really appreciate that in the game. Like in Grand Theft Auto, when it was like, again, like, you know, and then those characters were getting mad at you for not doing like whatever thing they were asking you to do, when you're just like, man, I feel like just getting this radar tower, you know. And if you don't get the radar tower, so far I haven't noticed those missions really failing. Like, I haven't noticed a timer. As long as you're in the area, you know, if you're on a building looking for a backpack, you know, or something, and they're like, oh, there's a robbery at blah, blah, blah. Like, so far I've noticed it doesn't really matter how long it kind of takes you. You know, as long as you're in the area, that robbery's going to keep on happening. You know, so you're not, like, in a rush or whatnot with that. You know, let's go get on into some of the rest of the stuff. So you got also skills. So as always, there's skill trees. I haven't really been keeping up on it. You know, general stuff that gives you more abilities, just like in, you know, God of War, you know, Assassin's Creed, makes you maybe a little bit better fighter, makes you have, like, this one, increased timing window for perfect dodge, you know, for your dodge in the game. Press square just as attack lands, generate bonus focus, you know. I think I even had one that makes me get more power after I attack or something. You know, after I do, like, make it easier to accomplish. There's one to give you more power after you do a dodge. So it's just, you know, stuff like this. It makes you a better fighter and makes fighting even feel smoother, you know. So all of my review of the fighting is really just with these 3 skills added onto it, and, you know, me using, like, a very early on gadget so far, you know, and using a suit with, like, the second suit power I got, and it's still feeling, from such an early point, feeling smooth, feeling fun, feeling good, you know, really enjoying it. You got your mission tracking here, your collections of, you know, the resources and everything you're getting here, the archives of everything, the recordings from Doc Ock's lab. Then everything you're doing in the game is kind of like tracking, so it does give you that, like, kind of dopamine boost pretty often, you know, while you're just playing the game, which I love. I love that. Like, the more you're running around, the more you're swinging around, the more you're going up onto roofs, so the way you fight, the way you're brawling, if you're dodging, if you're, you know, locking people down on the ground, everything, like, you can see here is just, it's tracking so many things, you know. So while you're doing these little things, you get, like, a little, like, nice little cake for you, nice little cookie there on the side, like, you know, that dopamine you've done a thing type of pop-up on the screen, where it's like, oh, I'm up to skimmer 2 there, like, woo, like, I want to skimmer more, you know. It's a nice little woohoo, you did a thing. And, you know, it has really no bearing on the game or anything, but you know what? Hey, it's nice to have something that's saying, hey man, thumbs up, bro, once in a while. Why not? Why not? Like, yeah, I wish I was a mentally strong enough person that was like, I don't need it. I'm awesome as it is. You know, hey, I like it when the game compliments you and it's like, you did a thing. You know, you did a thing. Why not? I paid, you know, what, $80 for this because I got the digital deluxe version, which only comes with more content, doesn't really come with anything else, you know. Why not? Why not? Like I said, moves list, there's so many different things. It feels daunting at first, but it's not like a fighting game like Street Fighter where you're really wanting to know these things and everything. It's all kind of straightforward with what you're gonna do and everything, and while you're fighting, you just it starts becoming second nature to learn these things. But I think that's pretty much everything. I guess I will. One thing I don't appreciate is that digital deluxe version is only for DLC content that's not out yet. You know, I kind of would rather them give you something that you're going to be able to utilize in the game, or even vanity things like just a cool, different looking piece of gear or something like that. Like, show me what I'm getting for me to buy it. Like, granted, yes, I did buy a digital deluxe edition because I do try and, you know, splurge a little bit more for the channel and for the right to review. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I wouldn't want to say my piece about digital deluxe edition if I didn't buy it. You know, I want to be able to say my experience from doing and not from assuming. So, you know, as a consumer buying it, I mean, I feel that if you're going to do expansion content, either give it for free, you know, with the game, or release it, you know, as a bulk thing separate, I guess, you know, but you kind of want to give people the chance to experience your product first before you kind of take their money for something. Because what if you didn't like the gameplay? What if the gameplay was glitchy, you know, and now you've got this product that's not returnable, you know, and enjoy the downloads for the rest of the year or whatnot. You know, I don't know. I think that there could be a better way to do that, and I think that it's better. I like digital deluxes and collector's editions that give you something, like something to use in the game, something to experience, like in the game, you know. But hey, I'll probably really enjoy this future content and extra content. And it was like something was like worded like something like and other stuff or something. If I remember correctly, let's check the store. Let's see the store. It was like, it was worded weird, and like I kind of read it and was just like, huh? Let's see. Marvel Spider-Man, Digital Deluxe Edition Spider-Man. Details. Additional suits for Spider-Man. Additional characters from the Spider-Man universe. Additional missions. But what? What additional missions? What additional characters from the Spider-Man universe? What additional suits for Spider-Man? You know, DLC by March 2019. So when does that stuff come out then? 3 chapters of Marvel Spider-Man The City That Never Sleeps series, available post-launch. Each chapter contains... Okay, so that's what the chapter contains. So more missions, more characters, additional suits. But it's just like, but what though? What does 3 chapters in Spider-Man City, and, you know, will receive DLC by March 2019? Like, to me, it's just like, that's just all up in the air. How many missions? How many characters? How many additional suits? What am I giving you my money for? Like, you can't just say additional missions. What, is it 2? Is it 3 missions? Is it 4? 5? Does that mean it's just going to be like additional side missions, or is it going to be like a little storyline? How much of a little side storyline? What am I paying for? You know, it's just like, it just, to me, like when I read it at first, I kind of was just like, huh? What? What does that mean? What does that mean? What am I buying? What am I giving you money for? What are you taking my money and then what? What am I getting for it? You know? So, I don't know. To me, that part of it was, I guess, but that's not like that's not the gameplay. That doesn't have to do with the game. That's just a side thing on the outside of it, a financial thing, you know. So that's why, like, you know, everything I reviewed about the game itself, you know, I don't mean this to take away from the gameplay. Like, the game itself, the game as a game, I think is spectacular, spectacular. But this part here, which is totally external, don't understand why it's done that way. Don't like it. Users will receive DLC by March 2019. What, though? What DLC? And then you see this, Spider-Man The Heist, October 23rd. Spider-Man Turf Wars, November 2018. Spider-Man Silver Lining, December 2018. So you got these dates here saying that, and then I go here, receive DLC by March 2019. So it says, The City That Never Sleeps series, available post-launch, you know, and the series has a star next to it. So that means the users will receive DLC by March 2019, you know, saying that here, you know, The City That Never Sleeps series right there, and then you go here, then you have Marvel Spider-Man City That Never Sleeps, 3 post-launch story chapters, plus new missions, suits, and characters, October 23rd, November 2018, December 2018. So they don't have surefire dates in November or December. And when you read the actual legal document you're agreeing to by buying this, actually, they don't have to give you any of this until March 2019 for some reason. So the sheer vagueness of this as a consumer, I do not like that. I think that is something we need to sprint away from and run away from, and I think they need to rectify this as soon as possible. I think from a legal standpoint, they need to rectify that as soon as possible, because my assumption of what additional missions, additional characters from Spider-Man universe, additional suits for Spider-Man, what does it mean? I still don't even know yet if all the characters I've seen in the trailer are in this initial game. I'm hoping, I'm assuming, but what if some of those characters are in this list of additional characters from the Spider-Man universe? When I look at so we got Heist, Turf Wars, Silver Lining, it's like, maybe some of the characters will be in that. Maybe they're spread out through that. I don't know. I don't know anything. And I think it's every company's obligation to provide me the chance to be a knowledgeable consumer before you take my money. And from what we have here in details and this, I don't feel knowledgeable at all. I don't know when this content's coming out. I have one thing telling me one thing and another thing telling me, well, they could tell me to go screw myself and release it by March 2019, on something that I bought in September. So, that is the only thing that's really my whole, hiccup there. I know there's been a long review. I hope you liked it. Click the like if you're watching this right now on YouTube. If you want, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. What did you think of all this stuff? Do you agree with the wonkiness of what this purchase experience is? Did you love the game? I'd love to know if you loved the game especially. I really did. I can't say it enough. I love the game. The game is a game. Love it. I would say 10 out of 10. Feel free to buy the what I can say right now is I haven't experienced the DLC. I know nothing about the DLC, but I will say the base game, feel free to buy if you have the money, if you can afford it. Hey, if you've got knocking around, you're looking for a fun game to play, especially a story game, this is up there. This, Detroit Become Human, God of War. There's so many great story games out there. Even Shadow of the Tomb Raider is pretty good. I would definitely say, though, out of all of the story games that especially come out in 2018, and especially out of the PS4, exclusive titles, if you've got the $65 whatnot after tax right now, get this game. I think out of all of them, I would actually list this one first. I think that this one is a really good purchase, and you'd really be happy with it. My opinion, I could be wrong. Everyone's different or whatnot. But yeah, so drop a like, drop a comment. If you're watching on Twitch in the highlights, whatnot, leave a comment there too. You can, or join us on our Discord. The links are either going to be in the description of the YouTube video, or they're going to be on my Twitch page as well as in the description there. Join us on our Discord, my Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those things. Instagram, if you like seeing a cute guinea piggy and just random pictures. Yeah, nothing really else on there. I got my guinea pig on there, but thank you for watching. Thank you for those especially here live tonight. Thank you to check out Miss Kylie on Twitch. Really, she, dropping the raid, and there's been like the most people watching the channel. This is unbelievable tonight. What a wild night. Thank you to all the subs, gotta say. Thank you to all the bits there. Ice Wolf 76 was dropping gifted subs tonight like wild. That was unbelievable. Thank you to that. Welcome to all the new subs. Welcome to all the new followers. I hope you all have a good night. I'm gonna hop off now. You'll see a new playthrough tomorrow, and as well as another review for tomorrow's gameplay to see if any of the opinions change, and any of the thoughts change in the game and the gameplay there. But you all have a good night. Bye-bye, bye-bye.